What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to bring you my 2 month review of the Sony. This is the A7R4. For first thing I like to do is apologize for this video. It's shot on an iPhone because this is generally what I use to shoot most of my videos on. So we'll see what the quality is out of an iPhone 12. But a little background, I've had this for about a month now. I got it when it was on sale for around $3,000, which is actually a lot now that I think about it. So it does go on sale. It's usually $3,500, but usually you can get it for $3,000 if you wait for it to go on sale. So previously I was using a Nikon Z6 II, and I found that I became frustrated with it when I was using it more for photo. Now for video, I think it's a much better camera than the A7R4, just because I think it's a little easier to use. Not necessarily about image quality or anything like that, but it just wasn't very good at tracking. We have a 1-month-old, so tracking him was becoming difficult on that. And I had more out of focus photos than I did in focus, and the settings are the same that I have on this. I usually keep my shutter speed at 1/125, just to make sure things are somewhat in focus because he moves around a lot. Before that, I had a Canon 5D Mark III. I had a Nikon D810, so I have had other systems before. I have not used any of the Canon mirrorless. I really wanted a Canon R6, but they're just a little bit too expensive, especially for the lenses, and the lenses are massive, so they haven't quite, there's kind of a gap in the kind of lenses that I want for this. So this is very, very expensive. It's like a 65 megapixel sensor, which is way overkill, but I originally went with this over like the A7 III because of the better grip. So I went to Best Buy. We're lucky in this area. We have a decent Best Buy where you can go look at them and kind of play around with both systems and see which one I like. And I liked the better grip on this. And this has the more updated autofocus, unless you do like the A7C, but it's a little bit better than the A7 III. So overall, the big thing that I really love about this camera is the lenses. So currently I'm shooting with the 24 1.4 G Master. I plan on purchasing the 35 1.4, and that'll probably be the only lens I ever use for a while. That's generally the focal length I like. So that's the main reason why I went to these. They have 1.4 glass, and they start having 1.2 now, but they're very compact, very small, great build quality. The autofocus on the Sony G Master lenses, I think, are better than anything out there. I forget what their focusing is. I believe it's like 2 magnetic motors in there. It's a little different than like the focus by wire that the Nikon does. So the focus with this lens is second to none. It's silent, it's fast. It's the fastest focusing lens I've ever used before. So that was the big thing, is that their glass is already established. They have cheap lenses, they have more expensive lenses, they have basically anything out there that you would want. So long term, I want a 35, probably a 20, and then maybe like a 50 and a 135, which Sony has all those. Canon does not, unless you adapt lenses. I'm not interested in adapting lenses. It just doesn't seem logical to adapt older lenses, because the reason why I got into mirrorless is because they're smaller, compact, better autofocus. So that was the big thing. As far as the ergonomics and actually using it, it's a huge downgrade from the Nikon Z system. That was a great camera to use, and I really miss the actual feel of the camera and actually using it from day to day. I actually hate shooting with this just because it doesn't feel right in the hands. I have somewhat medium to, I don't know, probably medium-sized hands. They're not very big, but just the overall grip and just holding on to it isn't the greatest out there. There's not a whole lot of grip here. This is just a real hard plastic, and overall it isn't as fun to use as the Nikon Z system was. The menu system I'm fine with. Once you get things set up in there and get all your custom dials and function buttons and all that set up, you rarely go into it. At least I don't go into it all that often, so the menu system doesn't bother me. It's not as clear, I think, as the Nikon and Canon route, just finding things and how things are set up. But overall, I don't really care about that. Seems okay to me. But the ergonomics is just where I think this thing kind of falls apart a little bit. Another small gripe I have with this is that the rear LCD screen is not good compared to the Nikon. I think the Nikon Z6 has the best one out there. It's a 3.2 inch high resolution. This is a 3.0, not the best resolution. And the viewfinder in here it's not as good as a Canon or Nikon systems out there. I usually use the back LCD screen, so it doesn't bother me, but I do wish it had the Nikon 3.2 on it. As far as build quality, it feels pretty well built. Maybe not quite to the line of the Nikon Z series systems. I haven't really played with the Canon ones, but it seems like it would last. I take it out to the park. It's been wet a little bit, just from not any downpours, but a little bit of rain here or there. So it does feel like it's going to last over the long term. But speaking of build quality and just overall system, this is the only negative that I have about the whole Sony system, is that they outsource all of their warranty support and all of their, if you need something done to this, you're gonna have to find a third party to do it, because Sony does not do it unless you have like 2 Pro lenses and 2 G Master lenses, which a lot of people don't have. With Nikon and Canon, it's all done in-house, so if you need service done or sensor cleaning or just checked out, you just ship it off to one of their facilities and they handle it. And I found that Canon's probably the best. And Nikon, I've heard horror stories about Nikon service, but I've actually had really good luck with my D810. I had to send it in for an autofocus issue, and I had pretty good luck with it, but they outsource everything, and I've heard mixed reviews on actually getting this serviced. It's not a big deal. If you find a good service location around you, you could probably get it done fairly easily. So file size, that's another thing I would like to touch. The files are massive on this. And I know this has 2 SD cards where people are thinking, well, it's gonna be a cheaper option. It's an XQD. That's one of the big things about XQD is people say it's so expensive. Well, you're gonna need to buy the, I think it's USH2 cards, mainly because writing to these, I think I have, this is 150 megabits. It takes forever. So when it's writing to these, you can't do anything with the camera. You can still continue to shoot, but you cannot change anything. So you're gonna have to spend $100, $150, $200 on getting 2 high quality, high speed cards. But it does have 2 SD card slots, which I prefer just because my laptop has an SD card slot. I mean, XQD is okay, but it's just not as convenient as SD cards. So the files are really large. So that's one negative I think about this system for me, is that the files are just too large for me. I don't need 60 some megapixels, but I wanted the better autofocus and I wanted the better beefier body, because the A7 III felt so small, and so it just did not feel great to use on a daily basis. This is a tad better. It's still not as good as the Canon or Nikon systems out there, I don't believe, at least. It definitely is not as good as the Nikon Z series. But besides that, the files, the video are absolutely amazing, as you would expect on any of the full frame cameras out there. I think do amazing photo and video quality. I like the video a little bit more than the Nikon Z6, but the photos I think are a little bit better on this. And I think that's one, is that their sensor technology has really come a long way, and the lenses. So you have their more advanced G Master lenses that you can get into, which I actually bought this 24mm one used for, I think it was like $900, so you can get pretty good deals on them. And the files you get out of them are just amazing. And with it being such a large megapixel, what I have is I have my C1 set up to where it will actually do Super 35. So basically it's 24, so I think it's around 36, 37. So I can just punch in and still get a 22 megapixel file and get that kind of that 35mm look that I tend to like. The autofocus does weird things when you do that. It's not as good, but overall I really like that. Switching between video and photo, which I do frequently, is a little bit more of a pain than on the Nikon system, but I'm not shooting weddings or anything along that lines. This is just all hobbyist stuff. I'm not a professional, so it doesn't bother me. But if you're a professional wedding photographer, I think that the Nikon Z6 would do a little bit better job when it comes to actually switching between video and photo. Okay, so comes to tracking. This is way better than the Nikon Z series. Like It's hard to explain because I had everything set up the same exact way on both systems. I think it comes down to the lenses are a little bit faster on this, and it's just a better autofocus system. It just does a way better job. It tracks stuff. It makes it to where you literally just turn the camera on, and then you just start shooting, and it will literally just start tracking things. So you can see how it was. That's the Super 35, but it just literally it almost tracks what you would want it to track. So it really makes it easy to just compose your shot and not have to worry about the focus or anything along that line. The camera is a little slow to start up, and just overall, it's a little bit, I think, of a slower overall system than the Nikon Z6 II, which actually has 2 processors in it. But the tracking's way better. It's just a little bit slow to start up, would be my only negative there. So I'm really liking it. I love the files and the videos I get out of it. I don't necessarily love using it every day from like actual, just, hobbyist, general consumer product. Mainly because I just think the Nikon Z6 II was just so much better laid out from an ergonomic wise. But overall, the results are fantastic. You get fantastic results on these. If you can find this on sale or get it used, I think it's a great buy. Maybe not for $3,000. Maybe try to find out. You can get. I've seen them used for between $2,000 and $2,400. If you can get one that's still under warranty, that's still in real good shape, I think it would be a good system for you. That's it. So this is overkill for what I need. I know that, but I work full time. We have good jobs, so I wanted to get something that I like and enjoy, and it does, help with these YouTube channels, this YouTube videos a little bit. That's it. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below. Oh, battery life. Battery life's good. All of the new mirrorless cameras, the R6, R5, the Nikon Z series, all the Sony A7R4 above, and all have great camera battery life. It's about the same, I would say, as the Nikon Z6 II that I had. So battery life's good. So that's it. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below. I will probably still keep this around because if I get another camera system, my wife is going to destroy me. So we'll probably keep it around and just continue to use it and enjoy it, especially now with the weather turning nice. It's a different setup in our second living room right now. So hope you have a good rest of the day, rest of the weekend. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.